Alright, welcome to the combo section. 1, 3, 2. Alright, welcome to the Priestess combo section. Alright, so what I have here is how to make this deck functional with Yubel Ashened. Here's the combo. This is an update from the previous one that I've made right here. And this is the updated version. The deck that I managed to go 5-2-2 with X2 draw and 2 draws at the LA regional. So usually my hand was this. This was a hand that I saw about 80% of the time. This is how I got my wins. This is what kept me alive in the game. And with these two cards, you are all gas, and whatever you have as extra, they could be your ashes, they could be your other extenders, but these two are your clutch cards. And I'll show you how just these two cards can build an incredible board that burns your opponent and puts a lot of bodies on the field for multiple interactions against your opponent. So let's start. These are just random cards from the extra deck, so side deck, they don't have no purpose. Okay. Okay, so what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and start with the set rotation. We're going to go ahead and place from the deck 2 field cards. We're going to go ahead and place Nightmare Throne on our side, and we're going to go ahead and place Obsidim City on our opponent's side. Once that resolves, we're going to go ahead and activate the Nightmare Throne. The Nightmare Throne, we're going to go ahead and select to add to hand. Okay, we're going to go ahead and select the Spearhead Yubel, but not add to the hand. We're going to choose to destroy. Once you do activate that, once you resolve that, you're going to activate the effect of Spearhead Yubel. We're going to go ahead and special Yubel from the deck. There you have already your setup for Phantom. We're immediately going to shuffle these 2 monsters back to the deck to go ahead and summon our Phantom Yubel. Phantom Yubel can go anywhere except for the link zone. You're going to want to save that for your extra bodies in case you have to go into your extra deck for link summoning. But Phantom will go there for now. Now that you have that set up, you have Throne active, you have the Obsidim, and then you have your Priestess. So what you're going to do here is you're just going to go for the normal summon of Priestess. You're going to summon Priestess. Priestess effect searches you Extinguishing the Ashen. Once you have Extinguishing the Ashen in your hand, you're going to go ahead and activate Extinguishing the Ashen. You're going to send Veidos directly from the deck to the graveyard. You're going to go ahead and add the Veidos from graveyard to your hand. After you do that, you're going to go ahead and activate the effect of Veidos. You are going to destroy the field card, which is face down. Going to destroy the Obsidian City that's in the field zone. Now that we have destroyed Obsidian City, we're going to resolve Veidos' effect by setting Ashened to endlessness. This is going to be your super poly against your opponent. You're going to set this card. It can be anywhere. I usually choose the link zones. You're going to set there. Then, after that resolves, you're going to go ahead and activate the effect of Obsidian City to either special summon King. Now, if there are certain circumstances where you'll have King or Priestess, sometimes you'll just do it backwards where you have King, use it to summon Priestess. If not, use Obsidim to summon the Priestess, to add Extinguish, to add King, special. So there's multiple combos for that, but in this case, we're going to go ahead and special the King directly from the deck. Special defense. Once you special summon King, and that resolves, you're going to go ahead and activate King's effect to special summon a power monster directly from the deck. From the hand, if you only controls a monster with 2800 attack or more. So we're going to go ahead and special summon from the deck, Shaman. It'll either be Spearhead or Shaman. In this case, we're going to go ahead and go for Shaman. Once that has been complete, we're going to go ahead and overlay these 2 monsters. Overlaying those 2 monsters, we're going to go ahead and overlay for Banshee. Okay. Now that we have Banshee on the field, we're going to go ahead and activate Banshee's effect. We're going to go ahead and detach Shaman from Banshee. This is going to either allow us to add a Pyro directly from the deck, or send from the deck to the hand, or send from deck to graveyard. We're going to choose hand. We're going to add Volcanic emission. So we're going to add a Volcanic Emperor to our hand. Once you have added Emperor to your hand, you're going to go ahead and activate the next card, which is going to be Extinguishing the Ashened. You're going to activate the effect by banishing from the graveyard. You're going to go ahead and fuse Emperor and Banshee, sending the rest to the graveyard. Boom, boom. To special summon Ember. Once you have done that with Ember, you'll activate Ember's effect. Depending on if Throne's still there or not, you'll be adding Throne from graveyard to hand. But in this case, we have Obsidim in the graveyard, because Emperor's effect is when he's special summoned, you could add one field card that's in your graveyard to your hand. In this case, we're going to go ahead and add back the Option City from our graveyard to our hand. Now that that has all resolved, we're going to go ahead and special summon Emperor conditionally with non-activation by banishing 3 Pyros from the graveyard. No particular order in banishing. Once that has happened, we will activate chains. We will chain link 1 Banshee. As long as you control a Pyro monster on the field, which we control 3 monsters, 3 Pyros, you can special summon Banshee from the banish zone, and Banshee will gain 100 attack for every banished Pyro. Emperor's effect would then be chain link 2. Emperor's effect would inflict 500 damage for every Pyro monster banished. Plus, once that resolves, you could set a Volcanic spell trap, grab it from the deck to the field, set it, not add. So, in this case, we will do a chain link 1 Banshee, chain link 2 Volcanic Emperor. That would allow us to inflict 1500 points of damage to our opponent. Then, we will set directly from the deck Volcanic emission. We'll set emission there. Then we'll resolve that. We will special summon Banshee. Full board, full with monsters. That would be your complete end board. Now, we do have other extensions, but in this case we do not need to use it because I don't know why you'll go overlay for this. For that is a no-no in this case, but that could come up soon in battle when you do need them. The Fire King overlay monster. Because you do have 1, 2, 3, 8 level 8 monsters. Okay, now that you have built your board is completely walled up against your opponent. The Ryzeals pop 3 cards. They're cards that will be popping cards on the field all day long. They have a monster on the field, on their side of the field, so their more Charmies now inactive. Their Imperm is inactive. Their Evenly Match is inactive. Any card, all their Kashtiras are inactive. Because those are cards that require you to have no cards on the field. And because you have a Veidos on the field, it then prevents that from being activated. This has happened twice against one of my opponents where they activated an Imperm when there was a Veidos on the field. One of my opponents activated more Charming when there was a card on the field, so it does affect that. And against my Mermail player that I was going against, I started with a Veidos on the side of the field, and they had nothing but Imperms in their hand. And I had first turn advantage because Veidos was on their side of the field, allowing me to go off and build a board like this. And we have the Option City for follow-up. Then we'll go ahead and end our turn with this field. Our opponent go ahead and draw. On the draw phase, you would immediately activate Volcanic Emission. Reason why is because you'll use this card to target a Pyro they control, and now inflict 2800 damage to your opponent since it's on their side of the field, a Pyro. That would make your opponent's life points at 3,700. I had my opponent's life points under 3,000 all throughout the entire tournament. Their life points were on the verge of the break, and since we were all on time, that ended up coming in handy, having my opponent be very vulnerable to life points such at an early stage in the game. And I managed to also get the advantage over my opponent when he had about 1,500 life points left. During their turn, draw phase, activate this, I burned them for game. So yeah, it's crazy. They double summoned me, and I managed to burn them. Yeah, so this is your complete interactive board. Let's go ahead and say they activate something. You're gonna have to just activate the Phantom. The Phantom will go ahead and special summon. Well, we'll destroy the Spirit. Spirit would activate. You will summon the Veidos. just like that. Even if they just pop the Yubel, you have the throne special something, special one of them, regardless whether it could be Spirit or Yubel, getting the effect advantage. They special summon. They're gonna have to special summon a lot of monsters before they get to their extra deck monsters. So you're talking about they're spending about 2,000 life points just to get their Ryzeal boss monster out. They're spending about 2,000 life points just trying to get out their, what would that be? Their Mermail boss monsters. They would be spending about 2,000 life points to get their entire Fiendsmith engine going. And if they do run if they run 2 engines in their deck, they are paying 4,000 life points, and they will not have enough to go around or get over this monster in time. Except for Kangas. Kangas managed to do this with 700 life points left on the board. Pretty amazing. So that will be on draw phase. And once it becomes the main phase, what I usually do is I'll at the end of the standby phase, I will already have this activated, just because I want this to be active on any triggers, on any activation my opponent has, on any resolution. I want this card to be already activated. In case they do pop it, get rid of it, I can instantly just do something with it when it's already activated. A lot of cards negate activation, so I would like to keep that card activated so I can just use the effect to fuse. And in case anything happens and they're burning themselves for 1,500 extra life, so now they're at a critical stage of their life points, we're gonna go ahead and probably just fuse. We'll be using King, Ember, and Veidos on their turn. If it's necessary, we will then summon the endlessness. Having the endlessness on the board is a built-in Harpy Feather Duster. If they have set cards, if they have place cards, because that's what cards do these days, that summon's going to be very valuable. If they have the True Light face up on the field because of the Maiden's effect from Blue Eyes, Voice's Voice do the same thing. Fiendsmith, if they already have the back root attached in the back to their monsters, pop all of them. If they already have that for their Snake Eyes, go ahead and pop the entire back row. If they have Centurions, and if the Centurions are not protected, they will all be destroyed by card effects. So endlessness is very powerful. Sometimes in this case, if it's really dire, you'll use the Veidos to destroy all monsters on the field. You'll be destroying your 3 monsters if it's critical, if it's necessary. That would then activate the throne. The throne will probably recycle back your Phantom. I'd recommend recycling back Phantom if you know you can survive the turn. But yeah, this is the field. It is impressive, it is aggressive, and I love this entire deck. It synergized really well on the field, and this was a field that I managed to put on the board 80% of the time. It was guaranteed. Here's a photo. Ooh, Ogre. Special. And that'll conclude the deck for today. Thank you everybody for watching. Until next time, keep on doing. Oh yeah, and another note, sometimes I already had Pain. Pain was always in my hand throughout the entire duels. So what I would do is before I even set up my board, I would just have an active Pain on the field, regardless of whether I had Phantom, because I would either have Spirit in hand if I added it with Throne, or if I managed to summon Spirit and then I managed to just use its effect, I would no matter what have a Yubel active on the field. So yeah, that would just be crazy. So it increases the level of destruction on this board with Hammer Pain being there. Yeah, that's a problem. Ashened Yubel, guys. That's how it's done. Ashened Yubel.